Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Book of Grudges. My name is Nathan, and Warhammer has many different races and factions, all inspired from our own real world. And it's because of that, many people find themselves sharing similar ideals to their favourite races and factions, whether that be religious tendencies, antisocial behaviour, or just some really strange kinks. So let us take some time today and jump into some psychological research and find out what your favourite Warhammer faction says about you. The Empire. You are likely religious and prefer things never change. A simple life is a good life after all. All you want to do is settle down, raise a family, and retire to the countryside when the time comes, but secretly you wish you were more outgoing and asked out that big titty goth girlfriend when you had that chance so many years ago. Vampire counts. You likely write poetry. Cringy poetry, but poetry nonetheless. Many years ago you stumbled upon Cradle of Filth on YouTube, and since then you've lived a sort of new lifestyle that your family cannot understand. You swear that coffee and menthol cigarettes are the only thing keeping you going, and everyone gets a little bit on edge when they see you wearing a trench coat. Dwarfs. You are a traditionalist by every means of the word. You don't like change whatsoever and prefer that everyone return to the good old days. Nothing makes you happier than a nice cold pint of beer, and you spend a lot of time overthinking situations of the past, very likely in a very spiteful way. You would honestly have a lot more fun if you let things go and lived a little, and you hate me now, don't you? Greenskins. Likely, by yourself, you are relatively harmless, a little loud, but nothing that people can't handle in small doses. The issue is when you join up with your mates, because oh god can we hear you. There is nothing more terrifying than a bunch of British tourists in the Spanish coast. Greenskins rampaging across the Empire. You like a good fight, and the only redeeming quality is that you don't take things too seriously at the very least. Warriors of Chaos. You are likely a metalhead, and have shown some interest in the occult. You are likely quite dark and imposing, and take things way too seriously. In fact, your family can't even remember the last time that you smiled, let alone laughed. Deep down, however, you're quite caring, and wish people understood you more. And all I can say to that is, maybe if you took that stick out of your ass, people would. Beastmen. You're either Welsh or own a fursuit, there is no in between. You're very loud and make a lot of strange noises. A lot of people wonder why you got invited to the party anyways, but somehow you find yourself here. Technology scares you and you prefer a more natural life. Whatever that means, we will never know, but we have been in contact with your local veterinary service just to make sure that your animals are safe. Wood Elves. You likely grew up conservative, but when you went to university things changed. Suddenly you came back wearing a dashiki and saying that peace and love was the only way to go. You take on aspects of other people's cultures, yet seem to complain when others appropriate it. Maybe that herb you smoke has changed you, but either way, we still know who you were and you can't escape your past. Bretonia. Look, just because she was nice to you once doesn't mean that she's your girlfriend now, and I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, nobody other than your friend group understands your crusading Deus Vault memes. You likely spend way too much time on Twitch throwing money at someone who's really not going to pay much attention to you, and you either own or have considered owning a fedora. Please, just for once, close down 4chan and Reddit and have dinner with a family like a normal person. Norska, you really like Vikings, and likely own every single Modern Marth record that was ever released. You like to take on Viking culture into your everyday life, which is very strange considering that your ancestors have nothing to do with Vikings. Generally, you're a jolly fellow. Many people get you confused with the Warriors of Chaos fans, but you have an identity, it has to get fleshed out one day. High Elves, Vanilla Incarnate. You like things to be nice, tidy, and organized. You're pretty much as interesting as a stapler. You likely did very well in school and have a good job to show for it. However, you're very boring and most of your friends see you as a bit of a stick in the mud, so they won't invite you out to parties. Look, not everything has to be organized, sometimes just going with the flow is the best thing you can do. Dark Elves. Oh god, you're still in that weird phase, aren't you? If My Chemical Romance can announce a reunion tour, then you don't really need to grow up, do you? You're living through your scene days and, hey, nothing's gonna stop you. The grand majority of people find you strange, and hey, maybe you're starting to think that too, but you're into deep and you're just trying to keep above your head instead of going under. Skaven. Do you have ADD? Because you might have ADD. You think you are destined for greatness and that everyone else is beneath you, a pawn in your game. But really what you are is extremely self-destructive, and while you'll easily try to screw anyone over, you mostly just screw yourself over. That still doesn't stop you from hatching up new schemes, and your next get rich quick will work, I'm sure of it. Lizardmen, you are likely a thinker, and many people expect great things from you, but the problem is that you're tediously slow. In most cases, you'll haul yourself into a room and sleep all day. You're sure one day people will take notice of your great intellect, but until then, you're just gonna have another nap. Tomb Kings, you love ancient Egypt and all the morbid stuff that is attached to it. You think very highly of yourself, and believe that if you lived during those times you would be a mighty pharaoh, when let's be honest, you'd likely be a slave building a pyramid. Still, anything relating to ancient Egypt is exactly for you, and you also have a life-size cutout of Brendan Fraser, but then again, who doesn't? Vampire Coast, you were likely a goth kid who got really into the Pirates of the Caribbean films. You idolized Captain Jack Sparrow and thinking that he was the best character ever written, so you decided to fuse your goth lifestyle with that of a pirate. No, you're not original, people have done it before, and yes, it is extremely cringy. Every Halloween you dress up as a zombie Jack Sparrow, and no, your Jar of Dirt jokes are not funny. Kislev, you don't have a lot of time for humor. In fact, your jokes are just repeating the same phrases over and over again, and yeah, nobody really understands that. Not that it concerns you in any way, anyone who thinks differently to you is usually just a weakling with a simple mind. Grand Cafe, you believe in peace and harmony, the order of all things, a concept which is very much lost throughout the rest of the world, at least in your opinion. You likely believe that all property is owned by the community, and each person contributes and receives according to their ability and needs. Wait, what? Sonesh, you've likely had unrestricted internet access since you were an early teen, and there are multiple crusty socks there to prove it. If your poor grandmother would check up your internet history, she would burst into tears. Please, don't break your grandmother's heart. And the reason why you can't form normal relationships is because you have unrealistic standards set by a series of cameras and actors. Zinch, you're the typical dude who learned how to do magic tricks when he was an early teen, and because of that, many people found you very strange, and let's be honest, you kinda are. You find yourself to be quite the prankster, but really you're more of a nuisance. You just want to be accepted, and you would be if you weren't so goddamn annoying. Nurgle, you're likely a bigger set fellow, and you probably smell a little bit too. However, you are quite jolly and people seem to put up with you mainly because of your very friendly nature, though people would like you a lot more if you did shower every so often. Yeah, once a month is not enough. And your house kind of smells bad too. I'm not sure where your pet has gone, but nobody's seen him for years. Corn, you're an angry boy, and people avoid you because of that. They think that you'll just burst into rage and start hitting them, when really, all you want is for some compassion. Nothing in this world will make you happier than someone just randomly hugging you. But mind you, since you keep dressing up like a psychopath, people stay away. Demons of Chaos. Yeah, you just want every single toy, don't you? You want to take on aspects of everything else and really have no personality of your own. We're not judging, I mean, well, yeah, we kinda are. Don't act like you're really special when you're just taking from someone else. Chaos Dwarfs, you're obsessed with guns, big guns, and that's pretty much most of your personality. So, yeah. Don't get me wrong, that's not a bad thing, but a lot of people do get a little bit on edge being near you, and for obvious reasons. Dogs of War. And there we go, we're done with today's video. A little bit of fun, given what today's date is. Hopefully people realize this is a joke. We'll deal with that when the time comes.